everyone, welcome to our latest Love Island Facebook Live, where we chat about everything Love Island. I'm so excited to be joined by the amazing Georgia Steele.
Hello,
Georgia, hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. I feel like there are so many things to talk about with this season, but I feel like we've kind of got to start with the Luca and Gemma row last night. And I'd just be really interested to get your thoughts on whether you think kind of Luca had the right to get upset with Gemma, or whether you thought he was out of line, or whether like it wasn't black and white.
I think there's two sides to every story. I feel like, yes, he did have a right to maybe get a little bit agitated with the kiss and whatnot, but I also feel like Gemma's got a right as well that it wasn't anything serious and there was nothing really in that. So I do see both sides, if I'm completely honest. I'm on the fence about it.
I think what made it worse was that like the other girls also did stuff, and none of the boys got bothered about it. Because I'm the same. I can kind of see like Luca being a bit like grumpy about it, but I think it's the fact that none of the boys were bothered about like the other girls that made him look so much worse.
Totally, yeah. But then I also feel like maybe Luca and Gemma are at a stage that's more developed. So I don't know whether he maybe has took it to heart more due to that.
Yeah, I think he feels like things really like strongly.
I
think that's come across. And do you think Gemma kind of handled the situation well? I mean, she really stuck to her guns, which I thought was great. She doesn't have done anything wrong.
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like Gemma's one of my favourite girls in there, to be honest. I feel like she conducts herself in such a mature, graceful way. So I feel like the way that she handled it and hasn't backed down is a really good thing for her going forward in the relationship, because I think it just gives a line of respect, really. And I feel like, it's good that she hasn't backed down. But hopefully they do smooth it out, because I do love them as a couple.
Do you? Because a lot of people are quite like, I don't know, they don't like Luca, but you like them as a couple, do you?
Yeah, I feel like, obviously, because I've experienced Love Island, I do know there's 24 hours in a day and we only do see like the 1 hour snippet. I do feel like, they are, like, I know he's obviously going a bit grumpy at the minute with certain things, but I feel like it is due to how he feels about her. I feel it is quite genuine. But I know a lot of people will probably disagree.
Well, no, but I think it's interesting what you say about Gemma like being your favourite, because I think at the start people didn't really like her. And I don't know if there was like some prejudice there about her being Michael Owen's daughter and not really deserving her place, but now I think like she's one of the favourite girls.
Yeah, totally. I feel like she's really conducted herself in there well, and I don't think there's anything wrong about her. I think she stays out a lot of the drama. She's quite happy with Luca. I feel like, she, even though she's one of the youngest, she seems to come across one of the most mature, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and you know what that's like being one of the youngest.
I think I was Gemma's age when I went in, so I was obviously only very young, 19. So I can totally understand how difficult it can be for her at times, being one of the youngest girls in there. Like at 19, you're figuring out who you are, let alone being on one of the biggest shows in Europe and going through emotional roller coasters. Like, it's a lot to deal with at a young age.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Luca previously said that he didn't think he was punching with Gemma. Which a lot of girls seem surprised about in the villa. I mean, do you think that's true, or what do you think?
I feel like Luca's just trying to be a lad, and he's just trying to like, I'm not punching. I think deep down he knows he is. Like, I do feel like he does know that, but he just doesn't want to give away that. He doesn't want to give it away that he is. So he kind of like, tries
to front, isn't it? Like,
yeah, totally. I think Luca's main issue is he doesn't want to be taken advantage of, and I feel like sometimes he over protects that.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I feel like if he was comfortable, like within himself, he would be like, I'm punching, like whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, but, totally, exactly, yes.
Yeah, because he's insecure about it. He's like, no, I'm not punching.
Yeah, exactly.
And so some people are saying on Twitter that they think that Luca and Gemma will do a Liberty and Jake, and you know how they kind of decided to go their separate ways and quit the villa. Do you see them heading that way? Do you think they'll be able to get over this bump patch?
I really hope not. I feel like you can't really predict things in there. Like everything is always so different, and you can't really say whether something will happen because we just don't know. Like when Jax left, we had no idea that was coming. So I wouldn't like to think that. I like to think that they will make it to the end, and this is just a bump in the road. But who knows? I
think you're right. Like we've seen so many unexpected moments. Like and last night when Luca pulled off his mic, I thought okay, that's it. Like he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
I can't really remember having seen an Islander do that before. I mean, did anyone do that in your season? Did anyone pull off their mic and just needed a moment?
Yeah, I think I probably did a few times.
Yeah, I'd be doing it all the time.
Yeah, no, I think you're so emotionally drained in there. Like you go through a lot. So I feel like doing that can just be something in the moment. It doesn't mean that you're leaving the villa as such. I know there was definitely times when I ripped off the mic and went off in a strop and whatever else. So yeah, I think that could just be a moment thing.
Yeah, just like needed a kind of moment to breathe. Yeah. I feel like we should talk about the boys this season because there's been a lot of negativity kind of put towards them. I mean, thousands of people have complained to Ofcom about the kind of alleged misogynistic behaviour kind of around the, all the challenges that there's been.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about the boys? Are they as bad as everyone says they are?
I don't think they painted themselves that great in Casa Amor.
No.
I feel like that's when it really started for the boys, when they kind of got a lot of stick from the public, was during Casa Amor. But I feel like that is what Casa Amor is about. You're meant to like see if you have stronger connections. But I do feel they obviously didn't portray themselves in the best light during that. And a lot of us girls have girls' backs. So like, especially me, like being a girl's girl. So I can understand why people have kind of gone a bit off the boys during Casa Amor, definitely.
Yeah. No, I think everyone's quite taken aback, especially by Andrew and Dami.
Yeah.
And do you think, because I know in your season the girls had such strong bonds, like you and Danny, and it was lovely. It was really lovely to see. I mean, people are saying, sometimes I agree that like the girls' bonds in this season aren't as strong. I mean,
totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I don't see any real strong friendships within the girl groups. There's been times when I've thought, oh, this could be a really good potential friendship, and then it would come to recoupling or voting someone out, and then they're voting for that person out. And to me, that's not a true friend. Like a true friend sticks with you through thick and thin, and there's no fakeness, and you say it how it is to each other. So I don't know, maybe that's a different interpretation of a friendship for me. But for me, I would never want my friend to leave the villa. I'd want them in with me throughout the journey in there. But no, I totally agree with that. I don't think there has been any friendships really blossom throughout the show this year with the girls. I think there has with the boys, like Luca and Andrew and Davide. You can see that they've got quite a good little friendship. But yeah, with the girls, I don't see it either.
Yeah, it's funny that, and I almost feel like with the boys, sometimes the friendships don't necessarily lead to anything good. Like I think with Luca and Dami, there was a bit of egging on with how they were treating Tasha, and I don't think that was good necessarily. I feel like we're not seeing many like nice kind of positive backing each other up friendships, but also calling each other out when you're like, hold on.
Yeah, no, totally. Friendships, you call each other out when you think they're being wrong and whatever else. And I feel like, everyone's kind of treading on eggshells around each other. But I feel like that's due to the fact of Love Island today and what it is. Like, it is one of the biggest shows. So people don't want to say the wrong things and they don't want to maybe upset people. Whereas, like, in my series 4 or 5 years ago now, it was very much more raw, I'd say, because it was just very up and coming in my series. So I feel like it, like for me especially, I was raw. Like I didn't really think about the public watching me. I was just very much in tune with myself, and if I didn't agree with something, I'd agree. Like I know I had some really good friendships with the girls in there, but still, if they did something to upset me, I would make it apparent, like how I would on the outside with a normal friendship.
So you didn't think about the public watching you at all, like, but do you just kind of forget that it's almost a public doing it? Like, what's it like?
Definitely, you do forget. Like, I was obviously in there for a very long time, and I think the first few days you're a little bit on edge. You see the cameras and it can be a bit overwhelming, but after you've relaxed in there, you totally forget that the public are watching you, and you've just got to go with your own intuition on decisions and things. Like, normally I'd be ringing my mum or like my best friend or whatever when it comes to things like I was going through in there in real life, meeting someone, you want their opinion. So that was the most thing that I struggled with, really, because you forget the public's there, but you also have no one to kind of give you advice or help you out in situations where you might not feel that confident in making a decision.
Yeah, and I think that's why friendships are so important, and also why you do have to be so like mentally strong, because you don't have your support networks around you.
Yeah, totally. That's why I feel like making friendships in there is super important. True ones as well, that really do have your back and will also tell you when you're being out of line.
Yeah, and there's been moments where I've wanted the girls to kind of just say, like, to the other girls, like, I don't think he's treating you well.
Yeah, totally. But I feel like people don't want to upset people in there, so they're very much kind of treading on eggshells a bit, whereas I think it's good to be upfront and honest, really.
So do you think they're kind of thinking about what's going to happen after, as in like it's kind of
maybe I wouldn't like to say that, because I wouldn't like to think people are being fake or not themselves, but I definitely feel like I feel like that's maybe why no friendships have really developed strong, is due to the fact that they maybe don't know whether it's true or not, because they might be thinking of hidden agendas there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and if your mind's on like other things, it's kind of hard to like forge those friendships that are like kind of pure. When you were in the villa, there was obviously so much drama. Did you kind of, looking back, or even at the time, did you recognise any problems with the men in your villa, like their attitude? Were there any kind of issues in there?
No, not at all. I feel like there was never really any issues or things that really bothered me once I was in there at all. No, and I don't really like to reflect on it too much, because I don't ever want to be influenced by things now, since I've been out, to kind of change my opinion about my experience.
Yeah.
So I like to just kind of take it how it is and how I was in there. And no, there was never any issues in there. I never felt the boys be disrespectful. Obviously, Casa and Moore, that was the situation for me. But again, it's all part of the experience. It's all part of the game. Like, if you're not compatible, then fair enough if someone else cracks on.
Yeah. And you had Adam in your season.
Yes, I did. Right?
Yeah. What's it like seeing him in this season?
Really funny, to be honest. I don't really remember him that much in my series. I think I was just focused on like my relationship and my friends and stuff. And obviously Danny was one of the other boys. Sorry, not Danny. Adam was one of the other boys. So I feel like we were never super close, but I feel like he's really portrayed himself well. And from what I know of Adam, he's a really, really lovely guy. Like, from events after the show and stuff that I would see him at, he's a northern guy as well. So yeah, I'm backing him. I think he's done really well. And what a little seasoning in the show, something totally different, bringing back a bombshell.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But I think it's such a great move. Would you ever consider going back in it?
I don't know. I think it would be something I'd really have to think about if I was ever given that opportunity. I don't know whether it's the stage of my life that is done now, and I'm like super happy with my career is at the minute. So yeah, I wouldn't initially say no, and I wouldn't initially say yes either. I think it would be something I would really discuss with my team.
Yeah, and see kind of, I guess, like, you just don't know until you're asked and what stage you're at that moment.
Yeah, totally. I have to see where I am in my life. Like, I'd want it to be very genuine. I'm a very genuine person. I can't really fake stuff. So it would just totally depend on where I am at life and whether I think it would be the right move for me or not, really.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And obviously it's the baby challenge tonight. Yeah, you and Sam didn't do the baby challenge.
No, I left just before the baby challenge. Yeah, I'd had enough. I ripped off my mic and left. I never experienced the baby challenge. I think I got away with that one.
I know, I think you're quite lucky, to be honest. Do you think it will make or break any of the couples?
I think it will make a lot of the relationships. I think there'll be drama. I think it will be a very, very funny few days now with the babies. But yeah, I don't think it will break anyone. I think it would more or less make people.
Who do you think will be the best kind of dad?
I love Davide and Ekin-Su. They're just I think they are hilarious. I think they're going to be brilliant with the baby. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching them.
I know. I think they'd just be such glamorous parents as well.
Yeah, totally.
Imagine them being your parents. But I also quite like it when the Love Islanders like really just fail at the baby parenting thing, like when they just can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, no, totally. It is. It can be funny when they just give up the baby and they're like, and you just see the baby crying.
Yeah, or the baby's just like lying on the floor.
Yeah, and they're like, no.
So maybe we'll have a bit of that tonight. Who knows? We chatted a bit about Casa Amor. I just wanted to go back to it because obviously it was like so explosive. Were you shocked at the amount of boys that cheated?
Yeah, I was, to be honest. I definitely thought Jax was more with Paige. So I was shocked at that behaviour. But again, I don't really hold grudges on it. I feel like that is what Casa Amor is about. It's challenging you. And a lot of the boys lost in that challenge, unfortunately, and got the repercussions of it coming out the other side. So yeah, I was shocked with some of the boys' actions in Casa Amor, but I don't kind of let it hinder them. I feel like it's something that you go through. It either makes you as a couple or it doesn't. So yeah, but I think the girls were spot on. I don't think one of them went out of line.
I think that's what made it worse, and that if they'd all been just off playing around, it would have been okay. But the girls were just like you say, they didn't do anything wrong.
Totally.
Whereas the boys, literally,
just absolutely on a boys' holiday, weren't they? The lads' holiday.
I know that's literally just how they took it. Were you surprised that any of the couples got back together, like Andrew and Tasha, Danny?
Yeah, I really didn't think India would have gone back there, but I'm really glad she did because I feel like they're a really lovely couple now. But it was when they had the one-liners when they came in, like heartbreaker line. I just thought, well, that's never going to be rekindled, but it did. So yeah, I'm super happy that they came back together. But I didn't expect it at all.
So you thought they were kind of done for good?
Yeah, I really did. Yeah, but they made it work.
They kind of came back to each other. I did feel sorry for Summer though. I felt sorry for all the girls they brought back and then kind of ditched.
Totally.
That wasn't nice. And obviously you've got your own experience of Casa Amor. And I was rewatching the clip earlier from when Josh and Kaz came back, and you were so shocked, and then you just kind of took a moment, kind of like breathed, and then you were fine. Well, you weren't fine, but
I kind of composed myself.
Yeah, I mean, I know you said you don't like kind of looking back, but what do you remember of that time when you came back?
I remember I think what it was is I'd never been through anything like that prior to that experience. So being so young as well, like learning who I was, let alone riding emotions I'd never experienced before on national TV. I feel like in that moment I really didn't know what was happening. I was a bit confused with my emotions. It was emotions I've never experienced before because I'd never been through something like that in the real world. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad it happened because it really shaped me as a person, and I feel like I had to go through something like that to make me a nicer person, because I think I kind of thought I was like invincible as such, when really no one is invincible. And it definitely opened my eyes. But I think it was just the breathing I did was kind of to try and control and understand what I was going through at the time, because I'd never experienced anything like it before.
Mm. And are the cameras, I'm just trying to picture it, are the cameras kind of all around you when that's happening?
Yeah.
So that makes it more intense.
Yeah, totally. I was yeah, it was a hard time. I feel like that's why I just kind of breathed. I was very lucky. I've been to drama school since I was a tiny tot, so I know breathing exercises very well.
So you kind of knew that was the thing you needed to do.
I knew that would kind of compose me and settle my thoughts.
Yeah, it was really interesting. You say it shaped you as a person.
Yeah.
So do you just think in a way it kind of, I don't know. I mean, how did it shape you?
It made me a much nicer person with a lot more empathy, because I think before that I was kind of a 19-year-old running around and just not taking things seriously and kind of thinking that I was invincible, and I think it kind of knocked me down a few pegs, if I'm honest, which I kind of probably needed at the time to let myself grow into a better human being. And I feel like I'm grateful for that experience. I just maybe wish it wasn't on national television.
Yeah, maybe not. And so because obviously you and Gemma were the same age, so we've spoken about this a bit, but is that kind of one of the reasons why perhaps you relate to her?
Definitely, yeah, I think so. I think as soon as we all found out she was 19, I kind of had an empathy towards her, because I know how hard it is being in there young. But I also feel like age is just a number, and sometimes people that are young can be mature, so I feel you shouldn't hold someone's age like against them or anything. But I probably had a little bit more empathy towards her rather than the other girls, because I know that she was my age when I went in there, and I know I found it quite hard being young.
And I feel like it's a bit more of a gamble going in when you're that young, because you'll have that over you wherever you go for quite a while.
Totally.
Whereas if you're going in when you're 29 or whatever, you've got a career, and this is just adding to it.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. But then in a positive way, I would like to spin that and say going in young actually is the best thing, because when you come out, you grow into a woman. So like when I was in there, I was 19, whereas now I'm a 24-year-old lady, and I feel like I've been able to benefit more from the fact that I've grown into a woman. People have seen my journey into a young lady now, whereas before I was a young girl. So I feel like I was able to kind of turn that and narrative my career in a way I wanted to, due to the fact that I was so young. Whereas I think if you go in there about 24, 25, it can kind of be hard to get away from the person that you maybe were on the show, because do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's why Adam's gone on it, because I know that he kind of got a lot of backlash because of the way he treated kind of Rosie. Maybe he's gone on it in a way to show like, I am different, I have changed.
Maybe, yeah, who knows?
And I feel like, he is obviously showing a different side to himself. So maybe that was his thing.
Maybe.
So who do you think is going to win?
I'd love Ekin-Su and Davide to win. I just think they're a fabulous, entertaining, genuine couple, in my opinion. And I just think their journey in there has been brilliant. So I would love to see them be crowned the winners.
Did you think when she kind of crawled across the terrace and snogged Jay that her and Davide would ever get back together and kind of...
No, I definitely didn't. I never saw it coming, to be honest. I knew they had something quite special. You could always see they had a little spark in their eyes for each other. So I'm super happy they found their way back to one another. But again, it was a journey for them. And I think that that's why the public has invested in them so much, because we've seen the journey that they've gone through.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a journey, and they're both so entertaining. I feel like Davide's grown a bit as well, because I feel like sometimes the way he'd kind of like throw those remarks at Ekin-Su, I wasn't a massive fan of. I mean, what do you think about the way he's treated her? Do you think he's always treated her well, or do you think...
I think there's a little bit of banter there. Obviously, every relationship's different. Different relationships have different boundaries, and I feel as long as it's not upsetting her and making her sad, then why are we to say that it's wrong?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and she's like a very strong woman.
Yeah, totally.
Kind of says what she wants.
Yeah,
and I think she was saying that her mum's like a relationship coach, and that just doesn't surprise me, because she's very clear and
totally
what she wants and her aims. And there's a dumping tonight. Do you have any thoughts on who you think might go? I mean, Danica and Jamie seem like perhaps the obvious one, but
yeah, maybe. I always think it's super sad to see the people that have had the least time in their leave, though, because I feel like, I don't know, like they could have had, and like I love them as a couple, and I feel like Danika's been through so much in there, so so much. So I really wanted to see that relationship develop, to be honest. So I think it's really sad to kind of see a new relationship get dumped because they've not really had the amount of time as say the other relationships was to invest in. But I think I'd love for them to stay because I think Tamika's been through so much in there. She deserves to really get to know someone in the villa, and I think she'll benefit from it the most because the other ones have had their time. So it's kind of like let her have her time. I would love her to stay, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she's just incredible. The amount of stuff that she's taken and the rejections. I mean, I know she cried eventually, but I would have cried like so much earlier than that.
Totally.
She's incredible. So, and also I suppose Dami and India have kind of had their time. I don't know. You know, they might come out of this and still be strong, whereas Danica kind of needs that time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like some couples in there, they've had their time, they can come out strong. I think maybe Danica needs a little bit more time for that to be developed into something lovely for when they do come out, they're prepared and they're more solid as a couple.
I agree. Is there any final question, is there any person who at the start you really didn't like or you just weren't keen on and now you're like, actually I've changed?
I really probably to be honest. I feel like at the beginning she was very much a drama queen. I feel like she was kind of playing it. She was an actress after all, but I do feel like after so long you can't keep up with that, and I feel like we really got to experience the real Ekin the last couple of weeks, and I just think she's brilliant. So I think her journey throughout Love Island has been one that the whole public has been invested in. There's been times where we didn't like her, times when we did, and I just feel like she's been truthful to herself, and I think she's someone that's definitely turned the tables for me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like when she did that thing with Jay, and then she says, "Oh, Davide, make me food." I was just like, "Oh, Ekin-Su, what are you doing?" But now I love her. I think she's
totally the same.
I think she's brilliant. Well, that was so great. Thank you for chatting to us about all your thoughts.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been really lovely to speak to you, and have an amazing week.
Thank you. You too. Bye.